The black man has been an endangered species since the first black man set foot on U.S. soil, all the way back from 1502. All right? That's over 500 years. All right? And I want to parallel this topic. Why the black man is an endangered species and has been an endangered species ever since the first black man set foot on U.S. soil. Not 1619 in Jamestown, Virginia, but 1502, if you study the transatlantic slave trade. But I want to couple this with the follow-up story that I did last month from the MLK shooting in Miami. I did a video on that. Y'all can check it out up here. I'll have the link up here. And there was an MLK shooting at a Martin Luther King festival in Miami. A few people got shot. Nobody died, which was great. But a lot of people were very upset and hurt about that situation. There was also other shootings in other parts of the country as well, but I'm specifically talking about Miami, where I live. I'm following up this story because they found the suspects and they arrested the suspects, right? The suspects, I'm looking at my laptop right here. The suspects are 17 and 18 years old, okay? The first suspect is Robert Britt, who is 17, okay? And he faces charges of possession of a firearm by a minor. And the other one is 18-year-old Gerald Brownlee. All right. So these were the suspects that were arrested for the shooting incident that happened in at Martin Luther King's celebration at Memorial Park in January. All right. So I'm going to briefly talk about this in parallel to why the black man is an endangered species. All right, family. Before I continue on that topic, if you're new to the channel, let me reintroduce myself. Once again, my name is Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect black people collectively as a group. And I'll offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, which is white supremacy, with a system of justice. So if you are new and you agree to that ideology, please subscribe to this channel. If you don't agree, go ahead and subscribe anyway, because I need two things: my view counts and my subscribers to go up, so my message can be widespread about replacing this broken system of injustice with a system of justice. So if you want to hate, watch, and troll, be my guest, because at the end of the day, those types of people are just view counts and statistics, as I always say. So anyway, family, what I want to talk about is why the black man is an endangered species. I've talked about this topic, a similar topic in previous videos. I talk about why the black family structure is on life support. You can check that video out as well. I'll have it up here somewhere. You can check that out. But I want to specifically talk about the black man because, you know, like I said, we have been an endangered species ever since we set foot on U.S. soil, dating back from 1502, which is the first reported African slave in the New World, 1502. All right. And we know, because of racism, white supremacy, systemic oppression, etc., we know that the trials and the tribulations we have endured back then and we continue to endure today, right? But our oppressors know exactly what our weakness is. They know that the weakness that we have is the black man. They know that in order to destroy the black family structure, you need to destroy the head of the household. That is the black man. They know this, which is why you see a continuous of abhorrent behavior, which is why you see a continuance, and I have nothing personal against the homosexuality community. I just do not agree with that lifestyle. okay? But homosexuality is another cause of the black family structure being destroyed. And our oppressors know this. They know this. But to coincide with the follow-up story that happened in Martin Luther King's birthday, right? With the suspects being charged 17 and 18 years old. Unfortunately, that's a cycle that's going to continue to happen, right? These particular suspects are primary examples of living in poverty and living in a single-parent household. When you have those elements running together, that's the end result you have. You have criminal activity, you have abhorrent behavior, right? You have destructive lifestyles where you're going to be destructive to others around you, and you live a path of destruction where you live. That is the end result that you have because of the elements that they live with, right? And so, coupled with the fact that, and I've talked about this before with previous videos, coupled with the fact that we live in a system of racism, white supremacy, where law enforcement was built to oppress us. Law enforcement was and still is slave catchers, right? If you study the Judiciary Act of 1789, law enforcement was created specifically and only to catch slaves. Suspected race soldiers do the same thing today. They catch slaves and bring them back to the prison industrial complex. That's what they do. Alright, so when you have that, coupled with the fact that, according to TheGuardian.com, young black men faced the highest rate of U.S. police killings in 2016. That was last year. And the stats say black people were killed by police at more than twice the rate of white people in 2015 and 2016. Another reason why the black man has, and it still is, an endangered species. So what are the solutions, right? Because I'm a solutions-oriented person, right? Just wanted to bring those facts to you. And I'm not really, when I talk about things, family, I talk about it. I don't go really, I'm not a filibuster. I don't talk for hours. That's those other people in the so-called conscious community. That's them. I talk about the topic, and I give you suggestions, and that's it. But these are my suggestions for this, right? Number one, the black family structure. Okay, it's a man, a woman, and your children. They have to live in the same household. All right, it's that simple. So if you have a bunch of baby mamas, right? You can still have a black family structure. If you have multiple baby mamas and things of that nature, you ensure that when you have multiple women who have your children, you ensure that you are in that child's life consistently, not just monetarily, but physically. You're in that child's life at all times. You show up to any of the things that have to do with school, sports, etc. You show up and you be a consistent father, right? And so time and time again, I see too many fathers who are just not there at the times that their child needs them. And when that child gets older, it's called a rebellious stage, and it shows when they display that kind of destructive behavior in the lifestyle that they choose. But again, our oppressors know this, which is why they continue to destroy us. They continue to destroy the head of the household, the black family structure. That's what they continue to do. Coupled with the fact that We have a system of racism, white supremacy, with so-called law enforcement that continues to kill us on a day-to-day basis. All right, so continue to focus on the black family and continue to be in your child's life at a consistent basis. All right. Number 2, get out of poverty. I know I've said this before, man. You living in poverty, you living in impoverished conditions. You know that the area that you live, and people know this, is dangerous, right? If you hear police sirens and gunshots on a consistent basis, and you look up your zip code and see the crime statistics, etc., etc., get out of that area. Go to a more affluent community. If it happens to be white, hey, so be it. Live in a more affluent community. I prefer you live in a more black affluent community, right? Because I call myself the black separatist. I prefer you to separate from those who oppress you, but get out of poverty and find a safer place to live for you and your children. And I'm specifically talking about adults with children. Not that's who I'm talking about right now. All right, just get out of poverty. All right, get out of poverty-stricken areas, etc., etc. That's the main focus that you have to do. All right, and lastly, family, you have to live and understand that our oppressors live by a code. They follow a code, and they know things without even saying them. They know code speak, and they know things that are unspoken, which they understand. We black people have to follow a code also. We need a code of conduct. It's that simple. All right? We need a code of conduct to follow rules and guidelines to understand things that we do and things that we don't do. I've said this time and time again. All right? So those are my quick thoughts about that, family. Why the black man is an endangered species and why we have so many obstacles to face to become successful, right? And I'm not talking about monetarily. I'm talking about just being successful, period, in life, right? You can be a successful father figure. You can be a successful spouse, right? But we still have many obstacles to overcome to do that. And so, like I said, these are some of the things that I suggest that we need to do to overcome us not being endangered species. Because the head of the household, it starts and ends with the black man. All right? If that black man is lost, dealing with abhorrent behavior, dealing with drugs and violence, and he does not reach his full potential, that's another black man lost. All right, family. So those are my thoughts on that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this topic, and give me your ideas about how to make sure the black man is no longer an endangered species. Let me hear your thoughts about that, family. Till next time, Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, signing out.